I think the whole question of people getting married, particularly royalty getting married, somehow can inject into society a sense of hope, saying to them, look, we're going through a tough time, but not all of it is bad. Certainly some people are having it rough in terms of employment, in terms of debt, in terms of housing and many other questions. But that's not all there is about the United Kingdom. There's a lot of stuff that's very, very good indeed. So a wedding like this injects in a bit of hope. And they seem to be very well suited to one another. So there is a sense in which you feel this is not a marriage that has been arranged by somebody else, but a couple that have decided they're going to get married. When you see William working in South Africa and helping poor people, when you see him with the army and the RF, he is just like another block. So I want to suggest that that combination of a commoner and royalty in terms of their attitudes actually bodes well for the future.
Are you personally looking forward to it?
So I'm looking forward to a very, very glorious service, which will have a lot of hope, a lot of fun, because both are fun-loving young people. And this event, I hope, will give a lot of hope to a lot of people, particularly young people. And actually, it is possible to create happiness for yourselves and for other people. So I think that's good.
You see, you mentioned young people there. Is that partly because we are seeing almost a new generation of royals coming? Is this a chance for the royals almost to reach out to people that they haven't connected with in the past?
I think Her Majesty the Queen has been exceptional. I mean, she really has connected. And I've been preaching at Sandringham when there are a lot of young people, and when she comes out, they actually are the ones that go for her. They gang in big numbers. So actually, she's been a great connector and kept this sense of really a mother who cares for the nation.
Well, what this marriage does do is it puts the focus on marriage itself.
Yes.
Do you think it needs that focus? Do you think that in kind of modern day Britain that marriage isn't as important as it once was?
I mean, I actually think that the statistics have actually shown that 4 out of 5 people who get married are more likely to stay married, and then 3 out of 5, those who cohabit, actually the relationships seem to end. But there's been a wonderful research that in marriage, people suffer less from mental health, people are much happier, people live much longer. But I actually think that it is important to raise children in a home where they know that the father and mum have committed themselves to one another till death us do part. That stability is very important, because it is in the home that the habits of the heart are created. So I just hope that the research we've done with the Marriage Project in the Church of England actually reveals that most people still think, 56% of them say, married in church is a good thing to be done. And I actually think that's a very, very high figure. Very high figure.
And actually, to some extent, they didn't have to get married. They could have, I suppose, lived together and continued to live together. What do you think marriage does bring to a relationship? 2 things.
First of all, for me as a Christian, it is a gift of God in creation. So you are accepting there is a givenness about marriage. Secondly, it's a public commitment, because marriage is no longer just the 2 people in love with each other and living their private lives. It's a commitment to the well-being of society, the well-being of community. So because they publicly are saying we are going to commit ourselves and we wish the rest of society to wish us well, it's a public act of commitment. And whenever you make a public act of commitment, you are actually saying to yourself, it is important, it is important. And I just sincerely hope that they will have such a fantastic marriage. Many other people learn from them and they say, cohabitation, yeah, maybe we could, but let's get married. Let's just make it very public and say to one another that our love has the society and the community at its heart, because that's important. What actually is critical is that people can come to faith, to a living relationship with God, anytime, any day. I wish they did it earlier, but the trouble is, some people leave it a bit late. I'd rather they committed, no matter how late it is. When you take promises, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death us do part, you're actually committing yourself that I am going to be your guardian, you'll be my guardian. I'm going to be your protector, you're going to be my protector. Together we are going to try and grow in greater love. Now that's a big, big commitment, and it's worth celebrating, and it's worth supporting, worth encouraging. I mean, I actually think that when people are married, society should rejoice, society should be around supporting that particular couple, and the families and the friends should also be standing behind supporting.
And you in the past have been very clear on what you believe marriage does bring to society.
Yes.
And I mean, that's something I know you feel very strongly about, that actually a marriage, a stable family unit is something that does benefit society. That's still something...
Yes, I mean, the research that has been done now bears that out. So it's no longer me sounding like crying in the wilderness and nobody's hearing. The research itself actually shows that people who are committed to one another for life and they have children, the chances of raising that family, growing up and creating the habits of tenderness, of loving, of forgiveness, of mutual support is much, much higher than when, yes, people may be madly in love, but the trouble is, if you're simply cohabiting, you can as easily walk out. Please, could the cynics, for a change, give this couple a chance of hope and support them by not always just looking for the negative, but also the positive. Because marriage is a positive statement of commitment and celebration.
It is likely that William will be head of the church at some stage. What do you think he could bring? What qualities do you think are important that he could bring to that position?
If he could grow into the role of his grandmother, the chances he will be a very great king. But he's going to learn how the Queen has done an amazing job, not only in this country, she's the head of the Commonwealth. And she's still revered and loved greatly. Why? Because she puts God first, puts neighbor second, puts her duty third, and puts herself last. This is an occasion for us to rejoice in their wedding and wish them the best that there is really.